It's just one of those things, lifelong interest in elephants. I have this huge stuffed elephant from when I was like 5. It's still very tatteredly lives at my mom's house. And I don't know why. I think I was just interested in them because they have such interesting personalities. And you can watch them interact in very much a way that you would watch a human family interact. I thought elephants were fine and that there was no threat to them and that they were just beautiful and wonderful and taken care of. And then in 2009, I was on safari in Kenya. It was a dry year, and I was with a bunch of friends who are into conservation, and we became aware of a lost baby elephant, which is very unusual. Everyone knows they can't make it on their own. Very much like a human child, they drink milk from their mothers every couple hours. They touch their mother every 3 seconds. They are very, very connected to their mother. So this little baby was alone, and she kept running to this Maasai village at dusk because she was scared. Then they would come out and she would run away because she was scared of them. The person we were with knew to call the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, Angela Sheldrick, Daphne Sheldrick, and ask them what to do. And that if we did find the elephant, that's where the elephant needed to be because they know how to raise baby elephants, unlike anyone in the world, and re-release them eventually when they're older into the wild. She was terrified. She'd probably seen her whole family killed for their tusks. And we were right by the border of Tanzania, which has a terrible poaching problem. And this was 2009, which is when the poaching problem was escalating into what we now have, which is 1 every 15 minutes being killed for their tusks. So we did find her. We called the keepers. They came and they're playing with the huge bottles of milk. I was so thrilled and excited. I called like every hour, I think, to find out how she was, because sometimes the baby elephants die of the grief of losing their mothers, of the grief of what they've gone through. Even if you're doing everything possible to keep them alive physically, they emotionally cannot handle it. And I went to the trust soon after that, and they said to me, she's probably a victim of poaching. And I was like, they must not know poaching has been banned. I really was so naive, so naive. And that set me on a course because of this one elephant where I was in touch with Angela Sheldrick, I don't know, maybe once a week for a while, trying to send money. And Chaimu, the elephant I found, was named Chaimu, which means lava flow, black lava flow. She was blind in one eye, so I was sending money for the vet. I was so concerned. Angela and I had a totally pure relationship. She didn't know what I did for a living, who I was, whatever. She just knew that I had helped her find Chaimu. I found Chaimu, and that was how I became involved with the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. What began in 2009 as this kind of slowly escalating increase in number of orphans is now this huge tsunami of, orphan baby elephants. The ones who find the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust are the lucky ones. There are so many out in the bush that aren't being found in countries all across the African continent, because poaching is now a horrific crisis where we could lose elephants to extinction in our lifetime, in 10 to 15 years. We have adapted very quickly to the crisis, and I'm very proud of what the Trust has been able to do, and very proud to be a part of it. And I felt really strongly that America didn't know what was going on, and that we were the #2 market in the world for ivory products, which people still don't know and still don't believe. So that was part of the pressing reason I made the film, is I thought, I live in the Hollywood world, and that's what we do, storytelling. And film has a really incredible way to make people feel like they're there and like they're experiencing something. And I wanted people to see what I was able to see when I would go visit the trust. It's like all the different elements of what we do in one film. Sometimes you hear the statistics and you get depressed and you think there's nothing to be done. And that's not really the case. There's a lot you can do. Even if it's telling everyone, never buy ivory. This is why there's ivory on the market. This is what's happening. We're going to lose elephants because people want an ivory bracelet. So even if it's just that, if there was no demand, the elephants wouldn't be in danger. If there was no demand for ivory, the elephants wouldn't be in danger. So that's #1, awareness. #2 was just showing what can be done by people who are on the ground in it every day, who know what to do, and supporting those people. And also then our government is now stepping up and trying to ban ivory in the states to a large extent, and we need state-by-state bans as well. And that's why we've been coming to Washington, because the lawmakers are here. They're really interested, but they also need more information. And luckily, I can give it. The world is a real and complicated place, and I think that the administration is trying to get a bill that we actually can pass. And that is what is most important. So we absolutely applaud their efforts, and it was super exciting to hear them finally announce it. We had been waiting and waiting and waiting. So, it's one of those things where it's hard and it's tough to deal with both sides of the aisle. It was amazing. I mean, we knew it was coming. We've been waiting for a while because he made his original edict, I think, almost 2 years ago. And I've met many people along the way who've been involved and who've been trying to figure out how to make the law stronger, and all the NGOs have been trying to help. And we've really been fighting for it to be the strongest bill possible and for it to pass, obviously, which it hasn't yet. I think any effort should be absolutely commended. We couldn't get anywhere for a long time. So now the fact that it's in the newspaper and the New York Times, the president's talking about it, the Secretary of State went to the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust and took an Elfie picture. I mean, it's amazingly wonderful what has happened. Unfortunately, it's happened because of the crisis. But this is where America can lead. We can set the standard of what should be done. So you can't think, oh, we're here in our bubble, going to the grocery store, driving our car. That doesn't have anything to do with this. It does. And we just can't let the few wild places that are beautiful and an ecosystem in and of themselves go away. Because once they're gone forever. That's why I call the movie Gardeners of Eden. They are the Gardeners of Eden. Without elephants, as Daphne describes in the movie, there would be no watering holes for the other animals to drink out of. They make the earth hard that holds the water. They reforest the forest by eating and walking and reforesting, the savanna. The entire savanna would slowly die without elephants, which means all of the other animals there. We will have to say to our children, we were too busy. We were too busy to fight for the beautiful places in the world and the beautiful animals. And the bad people, they were more ambitious and targeted than we were. I don't want to say that. I don't want to have to say that. And luckily, there are a lot of people in Kenya fighting every single day, and that's what I try to support.